I think the Lakers are playing with more urgency already than they were playing towards the end of last year. Like they're out there and they're playing hard, and I like that. That's as much as you can expect during the preseason.
Well, their defense is better, but one thing that I think is going to be interesting is they're a top-heavy roster. Most of their talent's at the top of the roster: LeBron, AD, Westbrook, none. If those guys get hurt or unavailable, the guys below that seem to be less than the other team's bench. That's when the games have been lost.
Right.
So we'll see what happens tonight, but we'll see.
So I noticed, this is very Shidano and Cappy, but I noticed that it is Inbox Zero Day. Inbox Zero Day. Apparently it is very important to some people to have no unattended emails in their email box. Do you have – how many emails are in your email box? If you open your email, how many are there?
Are unread or just in there?
How many are in there? How many are in there?
Oh, probably 10,000.
Is that what it is?
Probably.
I have 20,705 emails.
That hurts my
in
heart.
my inbox. Why?
Because no, it needs
why are people
zero.
so?
It's so
you're
frustrating to
neat
see that. Yeah, no, it is. It is that. It's exactly that because it has to be nothing. No red dots anywhere on the phone. Period.
I agree.
Jorge, you don't.
I'm that way. I don't leave. I go to bed every night with my inbox at zero.
Do you really?
You get rid of 10,000 in a day?
No. I mean, I've read, I've opened every email.
But you haven't deleted them.
No. I mean, I keep a lot of emails because you never know when you want to look back at them. But
right.
In terms of, I'm that guy. Like Lisa, my wife, has thousands and thousands of unopened emails.
Me too.
I have zero unopened emails.
That's the way to be. Zero unopened emails, zero red dots on your phone.
Juan is a zero email guy, too. He has to zero out his email every day. Jorge, you look like you're...
No, John knows this very well. I don't check it. I just mark them all as red. That's it.
You don't even check them.
So true.
Mark as red.
So, John, coming up a little bit later on, Sean McVay is going to... By the way, huge show, busy show. We got Sean McVay coming up about 1:45 or so. We got Matthew Berry, talented Mr. Roto, at 2. We got Anita Marks, our gambling expert, at 2:15. So lots of football coming at you. But I have been challenged, John. Actually, Michael Thompson would be proud of me because I'm going to do this. When Sean McVay comes on, I am going to once again ask if Matthew Stafford is too Kupp reliant. What do you think he will say?
Here's what I don't understand about this line of questioning that you continue to
This
dwell on.
line of questioning, yes.
It would be one thing if he was throwing it every time to Cooper Kupp and Cooper Kupp wasn't catching it or bad things were happening. He threw the ball, he targeted Cooper Kupp 19 times in the 49er game.
And we lost badly.
And he caught 15 of them.
But 14. We lost badly.
So
is that working? I mean, in other words, if Stafford is only looking for Kupp, now he also has Higbee. He's relying on Kupp and Higbee. Higbee, I think, had 8 or 9 catches in that game. But Allen Robinson, nowhere to be seen. We don't have Van Jefferson back. Ben Skoranek, maybe a catch or two. I mean, the ball is going it's completely focused on Cooper Kupp. And to me, you've got to move the football around and have other receivers that you can count on. And this is one of the reasons why I think Allen Robinson is not involved. I think Matthew Stafford would prefer to throw to Kupp over Robinson.
No, not
Wouldn't
really.
You? Wouldn't you prefer to throw to Kupp over Robinson?
I'm looking at a team that is 2-2 and has not played a good game. Are we doing it right? I watched that Niners game. Are we doing it right? Did that offense look good? Was it effective? We did not score a touchdown. We did not score more than 10 points.
Other than the NFC Championship game, in McVay's previous 9 meetings with the Niners, did the offense ever look good?
Previous 9 meetings with the Niners.
The Niners' defense always causes the Rams trouble.
Right, but we couldn't score in Buffalo.
Well, Buffalo's got the best team in the league.
We were bad against Atlanta. We scored points, but Atlanta almost came back on us. We couldn't score against Arizona. We scored enough.
I think that you're not focusing on what the real problem is.
Which?
It's the offensive line.
Well, it is the offensive line. There's no
Stafford
question.
doesn't have time to throw. They can't run the ball. And when you're rushed and you're hurried, of course you're going to try and throw it to Kupp because you know he'll get open. But if he had more time to throw, I think he would do a better job of spreading the ball around, don't you?
He sacked the third most of any quarterback in the NFL. He was sacked 7 times in that game against San Francisco and had 11 quarterback hits. There's no question about that the offensive line is a gigantic issue. I just think Stafford looks at Kupp and doesn't look to other receivers. And by the way, I get it. I was looking at that game. This is so weird. So I was a little stoned looking at that game. And I realized that Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp are so connected that Stafford is just throwing the ball to where he thinks Kupp is going to be, and that's where Kupp is going to be. They are connected that way. He doesn't have that connection with Allen Robinson. He doesn't know that Allen Robinson is going to be in that spot when he throws to that spot. So he's leaning on Kupp too much, I think. What do you think McVay's going to say?
I don't think he'll say no, not really. This time.
No, not really.
I think what he'll say is that all these issues we're talking about are related. If they can get him a little more time to throw, then they can run the ball. If they can run the ball, they can get more open. I am curious, and I guess this would be a better question for Les Snead.
Mm-hmm.
Why move off of Robert Woods and let OBJ kind of dangle in the wind and bring in Allen Robinson?
I have no idea what that means.
Wouldn't Robert Woods be a better fit right now than Allen Robinson?
Yep.
So I wonder.
Much better. Had a connection with Matthew Stafford.
Right. So that's one thing that I'm wondering about. And Mace, at this point, give OBJ a contract. Just sign him to keep him away from other teams because he's going to be ready in November, and you want him on your team.
But I don't think he wants to sign a contract at the moment. I think he enjoys all this sort of compete for OBJ thing. They've got his locker is still there at SoFi Stadium, reserved for OBJ. There's a lot of mutual love between OBJ and the Rams. I just think he likes the drama of, am I going to Buffalo? I'm going to the Rams. I don't think he wants to sign nor needs to sign a contract right now.
I think
he's going to land somewhere in November.
Yeah, there are ways to get people to come off of that. Just pay him a little more money. But are you pretty confident OBJ is going to re-sign with the Rams?
I am confident that OBJ is going to re-sign.
I'm not so sure anymore because if the Rams, let's say the Rams are 4-4 after 8 weeks,
right,
and Buffalo is 6-2,
right,
or 7-1. I think then he takes a closer look at Buffalo, tries to get another ring.
We will find out. And Sean McVay, again, is coming up for you, so make sure you're here for that. All right, Stream Live. Wheel of Questions is next. We'll spin the Wheel of Questions coming up next. Stream live sports and original content with ESPN Plus. Today, you get access to the award-winning 30.
$710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
Money all the time. What I'm thinking.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Hey, Rams fans, Travis Rogers here. You have got to get the new ESPNLA app. In fact, let's go down to the locker room and get a little help.
What's up, Rams fans? This is Matthew Stafford. React to the Rams on the new ESPNLA app.
This is Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams. Listen to all your Rams talk on the ESPNLA app.
You are just one tap away from Rams All Access. Travis and Slee, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. Download it now on the App Store or Google Play.
the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. You know what it's time for? What is this? It's time for Wheel of Questions. Wheel of Questions is presented by our friends at Puente Hills Toyota. Got a car that's just sitting around not being used? Bring it to Puente Hills Toyota today for an instant cash offer. Puente Hills Toyota, the house of yes. Producer Jorge, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it.
And here we go. Ireland, it is a wheel of randos today. I grabbed a bunch of tweets from just random people on Twitter asking questions, put them all on the wheel, and here's the one that came up. So this rando says, if the definition is rings, the Marlins debuted in 1993. Since then, they have won two World Series championships. The Dodgers have just won one. They also blew up their championship teams. Who is the more successful franchise, the Marlins or the Dodgers?
Well, I never believe. What's that?
Next question.
No, this is a great question. I love this question.
I'm kidding.
I don't even think it's close. The Dodgers are in the playoffs every year. The Marlins win a World Series, then blow the whole thing up and come back 10 years later.
Isn't it really about rings? The Marlins have more rings since 1993 than the Dodgers do.
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, if you're a fan of a team, you've got to enjoy the process a little bit.
Oh, wait, who are you, Dave Roberts, all of a sudden? You backing off? We're winning the World Series in 2022?
No, I think this. You're the one that wants the Dodgers to go out and celebrate when they win the division and pour champagne over everybody's head.
By the way, that's I want every team to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, so you're content with winning the division?
No, I'm content with celebrating at each hurdle that you clear.
What are you celebrating?
Celebrating that you made the playoffs. Celebrating you won the NLDS. Celebrating you won the NLCS.
Okay, so using that theory,
yep.
Why wouldn't you celebrate after winning every game?
After winning every game, because
that's
not a hurdle. They won 111 times. That's not a hurdle. Regular season games are not a hurdle. You don't celebrate them. And by the way, sometimes they do. Sometimes they throw the bucket of confetti or the bucket of water on the guy doing the post game interview. All that said, there is celebration throughout the course of a baseball season. It's not as though it's completely dry and nobody's into it and nobody's having fun. The question is, if we really do measure things in rings, and by the way, I say the Dodgers win the World Championship this year, or it's a disaster. It is a complete and total, utter failure. This will be remembered as the most disappointing season in a long time for the Dodgers, if they don't win it. And I think they're going to.
But that's a complete reversal of what you said a month ago.
Yeah, no. I went back and listened to the Dave Roberts sound. Dave Roberts guaranteed the World Series championship this year. I'm holding him to his word.
I think they'll be the favorite, and they've got a great chance to do it. But I don't think that your team, only one team can win it. You can still have a good season if you don't win the World Series. You just can't have a great one. You can't have a great season. Like last year, the Memphis Grizzlies had a really good season.
But if they don't win, John, if the Dodgers don't win and they've won 111 games, you don't think people are going to look back at that and say someday, oh, yeah, remember the year they won 111 games? They didn't even win the World Series. Who cares?
Well, the team that won the most games recently was the Seattle Mariners, and they won 116.
Flop.
I think it was 2001 and lost. The team that broke the record for most regular season wins in the NBA in 2016 was the Golden State Warriors. They won 73 games and then lost to LeBron in the playoffs. So we already know what it'll be if they lose. Those teams are looked at as not great all-time teams.
So I guess in the end, Bergman, what's your take on this?
So I think, the question itself, I think it's the Dodgers just by wins alone. I mean, if it's the most successful.
If you look at total wins over that period,
they are the more successful franchise, even though they have one less ring. But the overall thing, this is a bad year if they don't win the World Series. This is, and you're talking about the Seattle Mariners. That's the Seattle Mariners. We're talking about the LA Dodgers. It's just like if the Lakers. There's nothing but championship or bust for these types of teams. And I would even say that the Warriors at that 73-9 year, they're still kind of the Warriors more than they are the Celtics, the Knicks, the Lakers, those types of teams. The Dallas Cowboys only measure themselves by championships. The Dodgers measure themselves by championships. So this is a disaster if they don't win because of who they are specifically.
And people over the Dodgers would be upset because, cleared a hurdle, won 111, all that's – it's a complete failure if you don't win the World Series. A complete and total, utter failure.
If you win the World Series, you can actually be in the conversation for the best team ever in history.
Yeah.
If you don't, if you lose, it's over. None of it matters.
So that's from some rando on Wheel of Questions. All right, so, John, I wanted to ask you about Billy Mack.
Okay.
Who does the games for Spectrum.
I'm going to see him in a couple hours.
Okay. So I have a challenge for you. Billy Mack has got a couple of signature promotional reads. Do you know which ones I'm talking about?
Well, I know Morongo is one.
Morongo! Good times.
And I think he has Jack in the Box. He does something with
Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box.
Well, so your challenge isn't for me.
No, it's for you.
Mike.
No, it's
for Michael.
Oh, Michael does those reads.
Michael does the reads. Yeah.
Oh God, Michael will not play.
He'll do it.
You think he will?
No, he'll do it.
What's a sponsor that would work?
Well, we have both those. Have him do. I will encourage Michael to do Morongo tonight, like Billy.
It's really hard. Morongo, good times.
I got this from Michael.
Hyundai and a half coming up with Alan Slewa. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. You're going to find that millions already have found out that the longer you look at a new Hyundai, the more there is to like about a new Hyundai.
So we obviously did this challenge last year.
Yeah.
I'm just endlessly entertained by Billy Mack doing Morongo, good times. So good.
Yeah, I will issue your challenge to Michael tonight and tell him to have some fun because, as you know, this game will be probably the most listened to game of the year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be big. All right, so we'll let you know that coming up for you, Matthew Berry, top of the hour, Anita Marks, 2:15, and Coach McVay is going to join us coming up here in this next segment. I want to, and you mentioned the offensive line. A lot of this comes down to third-string center Jeremiah Colon, who came from the practice squad last week, or 2 weeks ago, to starting center this week. My God, the pressure on this kid has got to be unbelievable.
Right, and that's the line is something that isn't talked about a lot because it's not glamorous, but it might be the most important cog in the wheel. If you don't give him time to, throw and see the field, you're dead.
Yeah.
And San Francisco's really good at attacking the quarterback.
Yeah, he never has a clean pocket. And by the way, the Dallas Cowboys get to the quarterback with regular efficiency. In fact, here's Michael Irvin talking about the Dallas defense.
And what you're looking at on that defensive line is something finger licking good.
There you go. That Dallas defensive line is finger licking good. They're good. We got our hands full on Sunday. And the thing that bums me out, and look, this is going to happen whether I like it or not. There are going to be tons and tons and tons of Cowboy fans at the game. Probably, 50%?
At least. I think a lot of Ram fans sold their tickets.
I did not sell mine,
just so they
Jono.
could pay for the other games.
I did not sell mine.
Yeah, well, you never do. You like to be at the big games. But I bet you a lot of other Lakers season ticket or Rams season ticket holders did.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them. If they can pay for the whole season with one game,
I can blame
why
them.
not?
If you're supporting your team, why would you let the stadium
everybody's
fill
not
up
as
with the
rich
other?
as you.
Well, but I mean, still, what's the point of buying season tickets if you're not going to use them for the big games? Like, why make that investment if you're not going to use them for when a team like Dallas comes in?
Well, but the argument is if you don't have as much money as, let's say, you do, and you can pay for the entire season by selling the Cowboy game, I would do it, especially if you're looking for money. Yeah, I'd sell the Cowboy game. And I mean, the games that I wouldn't want to miss are the playoff games.
It's kind of a bummer to see a bunch of the other team in the stadium, but at the end, I think it makes it a very fun environment, as long as they're not Buffalo fans. Buffalo fans were obnoxious and drunk and I told you about that guy that got in my face at the Buffalo game. I think Cowboy fans have got to be classier than that, don't they?
No.
Ah, good.
Cowboy
that to look forward to.
Cowboy fans are quite confident, if you know what I mean.
Yes. All right, coming up next for you, we anticipate hearing from Coach Sean McVay of the Los Angeles Rams, Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Football fans, want to win $100 for picking 5 games against the spread? Just download the Cover 5 app for free. Compete with Mason and me each week for a chance to win $100. Here's what you need to do. Download the Cover 5 app. Use code MI22 to join our show league, and then start having fun all season long. Just download the Cover 5 app. Use code MI22 to join the Mason and Ireland Show League. Pick 5 games against the spread to win $100, or play all season long at cover5.com.
$710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction,
And you can win $1 million.
and you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Hey, Rams fans, Travis Rogers here. You have got to get the new ESPNLA app. In fact, let's go down to the locker room and get a little help.
What's up, Rams fans? This is Matthew Stafford. React to the Rams on the new ESPNLA app.
This is Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams. Listen to all your Rams talk on the ESPNLA app.
You are just one tap away from Rams All Access. Travis and Slee, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. Download it now on the App Store or Google Play.
Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap for your chance at $1 million.
All you have to do is make a super prediction,
And you can win $1 million.
and you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays is back all football season on 710.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Hi, this is Cooper Kupp of your Los Angeles Rams. It's Mason and Ireland, the #1 sports show in LA.
710 ESPN.
Star of the 4-0 last place Mace Hollywood Football League fantasy. John, it was a fantasy to win the league at the beginning of the year, but now I think it's a real possibility.
I'm telling you, the minute you drafted Mahomes and you already had Cooper Kupp, you put you in the running to win the whole thing.
Yes.
I think you're definitely going to finish in the money. Top 5 is in the money, and I think you got a chance to win it all.
And by the way, thank you very much for chipping in. John already got into the spirit of things.
Visit Toyota.com. They make it easy. I'm going to do that all night.
Good. Yeah, emphasize. Yep. All right, so actually, we didn't get this Tom Brady thing. Hold that. All right, this is a nice thing before we get to Coach McVay. Stephen Vogt of the A's played in his last game yesterday. It's weird. Last day of baseball season was a Wednesday because the playoffs start tomorrow. But they did something neat at the beginning of his at-bat. His kids got to do the introduction.
Oh, Daddy! Our dad! Number 21, Stephen Vogt!
That's very cool. Very fun. And he, by
Is
the
he
way,
retiring?
He's retiring, yeah. He went on to hit a home run later in the game. But that was his last game, and his kids got to do the introduction, which I thought was fun. Since we got another minute, this is Rex Ryan. Now, do you know the context of this? This has been on our sheet for a long time. Rex Ryan, can I interest you in 10 seconds of Rex Ryan yodeling on the side of a mountain?
I saw it, and he embraces this moment. He's like dressed like you would dress to be a yodeler, and this is like 10 seconds of Rex Ryan yodeling. Just play it.
Rex Ryan, such
Now,
a goof.
Can you yodel?
No, do you?
Let me try.
Yodel.
Play him. Play him again.
Okay.
Orale, oh, ee, orale, oh, woo. I sound like an owl.
Bergman, do you have it?
Yodelay, 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 hee-hoo.
That's
pretty
yeah,
good.
no, that's
Sounds
actually
like
good.
you
You're a
jump.
good yodeler. Yodelay, hee-hoo.
Yeah.
Everybody, Jorge,
Yodelay,
yodel.
yodelay, yodelay, hee-hoo.
There you go. See? It's not so hard, Rex Ryan. The world's gift.
Orale, ah, ee, orale.
You think Sean McVay will yodel for
Do
you?
you think
in
he's
the US?
listening
in
to how
favor-
stupid we are right now?
Of random yodeling.
Yeah, me too.
We should just drop that throughout the show, Jorge.
No,
Whenever you feel
not
like
really.
All right.
Oh, absolutely. You're damn right I am.
So,
Hey,
go ahead,
let me,
John.
And let me ask you a question. I know we're waiting on Sean.
Yeah.
Did you see that story I sent you that it looks like the Mets,
Yeah.
they have a 3-game series against the Padres this weekend.
Correct. This starts
That-
tomorrow.
Okay, and they're going to start Max Scherzer in game 1.
Yes.
And they're going to hold Jacob deGrom. If they win game 1, they're going to hold Jacob deGrom in case that who's the guy that's going to pitch
Chris
game?
Bassett is going to pitch game 2.
Yeah, Chris Bassett's going to pitch game 2. And that way, if they win it, they would have deGrom to pitch game 1 against the Dodgers. What do you think of that idea?
Playing with fire. That's playing with fire. Don't get too cute for the room. I mean, if you got to win this, man. And by the way, I would question if Scherzer pitches game 1 and they were to come back with Chris Bassett in game 2, I think they've got to come back with Jake deGrom in game 3 if it's a deciding game on Sunday.
Of course.
So-
So here's the trade-off. I actually like it. I think that they're tipping the odds in their favor. And if Bassett wins game 2, then deGrom's all set to pitch game 1 against the Dodgers. The one issue is, the one risk with it is, and by the way, if the Mets lose game 1, then they just pitch deGrom in game 2. But let's say the Mets win game 1. They throw Bassett in game 2, and they lose. So now they've got deGrom for game 3, and they win it and advance to play the Dodgers. Well, now you've burned deGrom in. You lost a day in the playoff rotation. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
In
you
other
have
words,
to throw Taijuan Walker in game 1, then maybe
Unless
come
you just
back
come
with
back-
Scherzer on
unless
game
you come
2.
back with Scherzer.
Well, we know what happens when Scherzer comes back on short rest. Last year he had a dead arm. I don't want to play
you know what?
games with Scherzer.
right. Well, you know what he says? I found this interesting.
Oh, what?
Scherzer says it wasn't that he pitched too much for the Dodgers. He said that he didn't pitch enough. He thinks that's what deadened his arm. He thinks he laid off throwing, and that broke him. So that's his theory. I don't know if he's right, but it wasn't from overthrowing; it was from underthrowing, in his opinion.
I think my personal opinion was it was when he came in out of the bullpen and threw that. He got that save, right, or threw that last inning. I thought that was
To get him
probably-
through the first round,
To
yeah.
get him through the first round. But if I'm the Mets, I'm throwing Scherzer and deGrom, bam, bam. I mean, I want to win the series. You cannot think about the opponent that is next. You got to win the game that's right in front of you. Your best chance to win in game 2 is Jake deGrom. I'm throwing Jake deGrom.
And the problem is, too, that if you go to deGrom in game 3, you lose him for the first 3 games of the Dodgers series.
Right.
You
That's
don't
what
get
I'm
him until
saying.
game
You delay
4.
his clock.
Yeah, you don't even
delay
get
his
until
clock.
game 4 in that
But
sense.
you say you like it, John.
I do for this reason. If it works, then you could throw deGrom 3 times against the Dodgers.
Right.
If
but
you needed to.
You did use the word
Because the Dodgers
if.
series is a best. The Dodgers series is a best of 7, right?
Best of 5. NLDS is best of 5.
All right, so you could still throw him game 1, game 3, game 5.
Well,
but
probably
No
game
way.
1, game 4.
There's no way you play.
you don't
Scherzer
throw
and
him
Tuesday
deGrom
when-
are not going on short rest. Neither one of them.
Well, with the season on the line, they might.
I can't see. DeGrom just came off of Tommy John surgery. He hasn't even been pitching that long. You can't pitch him on short rest.
Well, you can if the series is tied 2-2 and your season is on the line.
But
But
not deGrom 1-3-5.
Too much.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to remember what
You're bringing him back on 3
Hershiser-
days rest twice.
What Hershiser did against the Mets in '88. I think he pitched 3 games in that series. that may have
it
been
can be done.
That may have been a best of 7. I don't remember.
Yeah, no, but it can be done. I mean, I've seen guys do it. If I'm the Mets, and especially I stumbled across the finish line.
Right.
They really went into the tank and gave up the division lead to the Braves. I don't think I'm messing around. I think I'm throwing Scherzer 1, DeGrom 2, and come back with Chris Bassett for Game 3 or for Game 1 against the Dodgers.
Well, the thing that could blow it all up is if the Padres win Game 1.
Right, then it all
gotta
goes
come
out the
back
window.
with,
Exactly.
Yeah, with whoever the best
I wouldn't
player
sleep on the Padres. I wouldn't sleep on them.
I hope I'm rooting for them because I want the Dodgers to play the Padres.
I'd much rather have the Dodgers play the Padres. Wouldn't you, Bergman?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They own the Padres right now. I think they've won something like 19 of the last 25 or something like that. It's been a beatdown of them. So, yes, 100%.
Okay, so I want to do a little conversation here, Bergman. So we haven't heard from Coach. Matthew Berry is coming up. What do you want to do?
So I'm trying to work it out with the Rams right now because we're getting too close to Matthew Berry.
So what do I do?
I'm talking to him right now.
That's not an answer.
I will have an answer. I will have an answer for you. Sure. I am in the middle of texting with them right now.
In the middle of it. Okay. By the way, John, are you watching on Mason and Ireland Plus today? You know, even Bergman. Are you on it, Jorge?
Yeah.
Jorge's on it. Bergman's on it. We got the 4 squares going. Have you looked at the YouTube?
No, I don't even know how to access it.
YouTube.com. Search ESPNLA. That's it.
All right, I'll look for it.
It's easy. Easy. Do that. All right, coming up next, we're not exactly sure what's going to happen, but we will definitely, it'll either be Matthew Berry or Coach Sean McVay, or it's going to be Berry. Okay, so we'll do Talented Mr. Roto coming up next for you. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Football fans, want to win $100 for picking 5 games against the spread? Just download the Cover 5 app for free. Compete with Mason and me each week for a chance to win $100. Here's what you need to do. Download the Cover 5 app, use code MI22 to join our show league, and then start having fun all season long. Just download the Cover 5 app. Use code MI22 to join the Mason and Ireland Show League. Pick 5 games against the spread to win $100 or play all season long at cover5.com.
Hey, Rams fans, Travis Rogers here. You have got to get the new ESPNLA app. In fact, let's go down to the locker room and get a little help.
What's up, Rams fans? This is Matthew Stafford. React to the Rams on the new ESPNLA app.
This is Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams. Listen to all your Rams talk on the ESPNLA app.
You are just one tap away from Rams All Access. Travis and Slee, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. Download it now on the App Store or Google Play.
Thursday, John is in Vegas. Sin City, we heard the story about him and Sliwa last night. But today is Mason and Ireland Plus, which means go to our YouTube channel, search ESPNLA, and bam! You can watch Mason, Corporate Greg, and producer Jorge on video. That's right, we're streaming live all show long. Producer Jorge's good with video. He's been in all my home movies. Mason and Ireland continues right now.
Tell you one thing. It's a good-looking team we got on this show. People look good here, man. Go to YouTube and search ESPNLA, and you will get Mason and Ireland. Plus, see the pictures to go with the voices. All right, joining us right now is the talented Mr. Roto, Matthew Berry. Matthew, what is going on, man?
It is week 5 of the NFL season. I'm excited, man. I'm thrilled. It seems to be flying by.
Already week 5. Go ahead, John.
Go ahead. Okay, so Matthew, I of course read your emails daily about what to do and who to play and who to sit and not to sit. So I'm gonna just apply something I read in your email today to my own situation. I have 2 running backs that I like. I have Austin Eckler and James Robinson. But I noticed that you this week are very high on Devin Singletary. So if you're me, do you bench Robinson and play Singletary? Or is Robinson too good to bench?
Yeah, no, I think he's too good to bench, and I like them at home against Houston. I think they get back to track. So I think it's a good problem to have. I don't think you can screw it up. But for me, I actually would stick with Eckler and Robinson. Because you guys, by the way, are you guys half-point PPR or standard, right? You're not full PPR.
We're not full PPR. We're not even half PPR.
We're just standard.
So for your scoring, most people play either PPR or half PPR. But again, your league is in the dark ages.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
yes, it is.
So for your league specifically, Robinson and Eckler are the plays. Singletary's been the exciting thing about Singletary is he's been playing more and more on passing downs, and he's been involved in the Bills' passing attack the last couple of weeks. But so I mean, again, 3 good choices there, but Eckler and Robinson would be my suggestion for you.
So there are some critical injuries that people are dealing with right now. Jonathan Taylor not going to play for the Colts, and who else? DeAndre Swift not going to play for the Lions. Is there anybody out there that you can grab at this point? Are there any sleeper free agent type guys?
It's an ugly bag. I mean, listen, you mentioned Jonathan Taylor, so Nyheim Hines should get the majority of work tonight against the Broncos. He's had 20 games in his career where he's gotten double-digit touches, and in those games, again, this is PPR scoring, but in those 20 games, he has averaged 14.5 fantasy points per game. The offensive line for Indy has not played well. It's a tough defense they're facing in Denver, but given the fact that Denver's secondary is so good, and I think Pittman has a tough time with Patrick Surtain today, I could see some dump-offs to Nyheim Hines. I think he's a viable flex tonight, and he's out there in some leagues. Same game, by the way, on the other side, the awful injury to Javonte Williams with the ACL. So tonight it'll be Melvin Gordon and Mike Boone. You might see a little bit of Divine Ezigbo. You might see a little bit of Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray's really interesting to me. He's not a guy for this week. I wouldn't play him tonight. But I think he's interesting going forward just because, Melvin Gordon leads the NFL in fumbles. And you could argue that he, at least in part, cost them 2 games. He had the bad fumble on the goal line in week 1 against the Seahawks. He had a bad fumble last week when the Broncos were trying to make the rally against the Raiders. They were moving the ball down the field, trying to come back. And then Gordon has another fumble. Again, he leads the NFL in fumbles. And after Williams went out last week, he was also banged up a little bit. But between a bum ankle and the fumbles, actually Mike Boone played 65% of the snaps once Javonte Williams went out with the injury last week. So Mike Boone's a smaller guy. They don't want him to be the every down back, but I could see a scenario where Latavius Murray supplants Melvin Gordon at the head of that committee in Denver. Again, talking to some sources I have around the team, I'm told Melvin Gordon on a very short leash, which makes sense. The guy literally leads the NFL in fumbles, and that's been a challenge for him throughout his career.
We're talking to Matthew Berry, the talented Mr. Roto, fantasy expert to the stars and to us. Matthew, just give me your thoughts. Mason's a Rams season ticket holder. You, Matthew, were very in early on Cooper Kupp when he was a rookie. You were telling people this guy is really good. What's going on with their offense? Why do you think the Rams are having trouble scoring?
Well, I think it's a couple of things. I mean, I think first off, it's become very one-dimensional, right? They haven't been able to run the ball very successfully, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but as season ticket holders, you probably noticed this, but there was a series in the last game where Cooper Kupp just needed a break, right? So he went to the sidelines for a couple of plays. He's just on the sidelines, and Matthew Stafford still got him 3 targets. So it's just like the fact is, I don't know what Allen Robinson has to do. I don't know if he has to go to breakfast. I don't know if he's got to donate to Kelly Stafford's charities. I don't know what he's got to do, but for the love of God, free Allen Robinson. You're paying this guy $30 million guaranteed, $46 million contract, and looking at it from a fantasy lens, Allen Robinson is wide receiver 73 on the season.
Wow.
And a points per game basis. He's had under 3 receptions in 3 out of the 4 games this year. I mean, like, that is the most expensive wind sprinter in history. Like, hey, Rob, here's $30 million. We just need you to run wind sprints. Like, what is going on? Coach McVay was asked about it after the press conference. Why is it such a struggle to get Allen Robinson the ball? And McVay said, it's all a struggle. Like, he wouldn't address it. Yeah. And so I don't know if it's a Stafford thing, if it's a Robinson thing. I don't know what's going on. But the fact of the matter is that it is Cooper Kupp or bust. They've gotten Higbee involved somewhat. But honestly, I think they really miss Whitworth on the offensive line. I think Stafford's been under pressure a lot. And let's be clear, Stafford hasn't played well. Honestly, like some bad picks, and some of it, it's all a team effort, right? Whether he's on pressure and he feels like Cooper Kupp is the only guy that's open. I don't know what it is, but I honestly think part of the reason that I think their offense, they haven't gotten the run game going. I think their offense has become very one-dimensional and candidly very Cooper Kupp-centric, which in fantasy we love, especially if you've got a little Cooper Kupp on your team. But, like, for Rams fans, you're like, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, Coach McVay is going to come on tomorrow. We'll definitely talk to him about that.
Will you please ask him directly about Allen Robinson?
Well, listen to what I asked him last year, Matthew. Listen to this. But it feels like Stafford may be getting a little too Kupp reliant. Do you know what I mean?
No, not really.
So last year that did not fly. Disagreed. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I think that is what it is. They've got to find a way to get other guys involved. And when Van Jefferson comes back, that'll make a difference. And if they ever get OBJ back, that'll make a huge difference. But right now, it's looking like they made a mistake by going away from Robert Woods and towards Allen Robinson, which leads me to this question. James on Twitter wants to know, Curtis Samuel or Robert Woods?
I think the answer is Robert Woods, just because, unfortunately, Curtis Samuel does not get to face the Washington Commanders defense. Robert Woods, so here's the thing. First off, by the way, Samuel missed practice again today. So he's missed practice each of the last 2 days with an illness. If Samuel is active, I think it's a much closer conversation there. But Woods should get the majority of work. No Treylon Burks this week. He's had 12 or more fantasy points each of the last 2 weeks, Robert Woods has. So going against my Commanders, who can't stop anybody, I think I'm going with Bobby Trees. I certainly think he's the floor play today.
Jose tweets Russell Wilson or Zach Wilson.
I'm going to say Russell Wilson. I know, but I mean, which just goes to show you, like, $250 million doesn't buy you what it used to. But I'm actually still going with Russell Wilson.
Hey, I read in your email that you think that people should play Jerry Jeudy, which surprises me. I have Jerry Jeudy on my bench, and he does something every once in a while, but he really hasn't had a great year. Why are you high on Jerry Jeudy this week?
To be clear, I just want to be clear on this, that the Fantasy Life, what you're referring to is the Fantasy Life newsletter, which comes out every day. It's great, and it's free. It's and you can get it at fantasylife.com. 100% free, comes to your email every single day. There's a little plug there. But what I would tell you is I don't write it, so I don't want to I don't want to pretend that I do. It's my name on it, and it's my company, and I contribute to it. But we have people that write every day, and it's clear. I mean, that's all. I'm not hiding anything. Like it says in the email, written by Peter Overzet and curated by Jordan Fiegelman, and there's a bunch of different sections. That said, I do think the way that Denver moves the ball this game is through the air. The Colts have the 5th best run defense in the NFL so far this year. No Javonte Williams, who's the only guy that's been good for the Broncos in terms of running the ball. He's the only guy that's had over 70 rushing yards in a game this year, and he's not going to play tonight. So the expectation here is how they move the ball is through the air. And so in terms of how you attack the kind of defense that the Colts run, feels like Jeudy is a guy that, is a solid wide receiver 3 tonight.
Hey, this is an interesting question off the YouTube from Angela. Should you stash Odell Beckham Jr.?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it depends on the size of your league. Depends on whether you have an IR spot. Although he's a free agent, so I don't know if he would qualify for IR because he's not actually on injured reserve, even though we all know he's hurt. But he's not on an NFL roster right now. My expectation is that he comes back early December and he comes back for the Rams. That's That's what I'm hearing. I know there's talk about him visiting a bunch of different teams.
Yep.
Feels like it makes too much sense for both sides, obviously. OBJ won a Super Bowl with the Rams. Obviously, he's close with Coach McVay, and they certainly need him. LA certainly needs him. So, yeah, I mean, it depends on the size of your league. I don't mind it, but, the idea that off of the ACL that he's still going to be – that he's immediately going to come in and have a big fantasy impact in the second week of December feels a little risky to waste a roster spot for 6 weeks. Because you're going to want to see him do it for a week or two before you put him into your lineup, and then you're into the playoffs, and I don't know. It's again in a deeper league, I don't hate it, but I just, anyway.
All right,
so,
Kitty Cat
it's not
Cat
a priority for me.
Kitty Cat on YouTube wants to know Antonio Gibson or Jerry Jeudy flex play.
I'm also going to go with Jerry Jeudy here. I'm nervous about Antonio Gibson this week, guys. So if you look at his production, it's gone down each of the last 4 weeks. He's playing less snaps. Jonathan Williams actually got some run. Brian Robinson, it's an amazing story. Brian Robinson back at practice this week, activated off of IR. I think there's a chance he's active as well. Titans run defense, first week they got sort of run over, but they've gotten better. From week 2 on, they've averaged just 3.7 yards per carry allowed. And so Antonio Gibson, who had that huge game in week 1 where he caught 7 passes, has been really involved in the passing game, hasn't since then. They've gone much more to J.D. McKissick weeks 2, 3, and 4. So, if Robinson's active or even Jonathan Williams, you're looking at a 3-headed monster in a matchup that isn't great, and Gibson's numbers have been trending the wrong way. So give me Jerry Jeudy, assuming it's a PPR league.
2 different guys have got this question, Russell Wilson or Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. And I get the matchup concerns with New England, but Jared Goff is a top 5 fantasy quarterback, and Russell Wilson is not. Russell, I get it was Seattle. I get that it was Seattle last week, but still, Jared Goff last week proved, even without Amon-Ra St. Brown, even without DJ Shark, even without DeAndre Swift, he still put up massive numbers. Jared Goff, look, guys, you guys know this because you watched Goff for years playing for the Rams. When Jared Goff gets time, he's fine. When he has time in the pocket, he's fine. And the Lions legit have a top 5 offensive line in the NFL. He's getting time, and he's making plays. And as bad as that Lions defense is, and it's brutal, he's going to have to keep throwing. So, yeah, Jared Goff is legit, fantasy-wise at least.
Here's one from Adam Martell. Adam Thielen or Melvin Gordon in the flex position?
Adam Thielen, and it's not close.
All right, let's do some Let's do some rapid fire. The prime Anarchy, Kyle Pitts or Gerald Everett for tight end?
I'm going to say Gerald Everett. Kyle Pitts has missed each of the last 2 weeks, less than 2 days with practice in terms of practice. Gerald Everett's legit, so I'm going to say I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, Gerald Everett. Hope springs eternal for Kyle Pitts to actually get a target. He's the Allen Robinson of tight ends.
Brett Randall tweets or on YouTube, Geno Smith or Matthew Stafford? Ugh.
You know what?
I know what you're going to do.
How about
Stafford is the 30th. Matthew Stafford is QB 30 on the year.
Wow.
Fantasy points wise, there are only 2 quarterbacks that have been worse than Matthew Stafford this season through 4 games. Numbers are numbers.
That's upsetting. That is upsetting. All right, so Matthew, we've had to carve out a chunk. You have so many different amazing and incredible ways to follow you that we actually had to carve out a minute for it. Describe, first of all, your new show on Peacock is great. You're great on NBC, all over the place. Tell us all the places we can see you.
Well, yes, Peacock. So Monday through Friday we do a show at noon Eastern, and then it's on demand, clips and full episodes on Peacock TV as well, and wherever you get podcasts. That's the Fantasy Football Happy Hour, Monday through Friday. Sunday mornings we do the Fantasy Football pregame show, 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 to 10, obviously, on the West Coast. That is also on Peacock. And, yes, I am part of Football Night in America before the Sunday night game, and you can always read my love-hate column for free at NBCSportsEdge.com, RotoWorld.com, where to talk about FantasyLife.com in terms of my newsletter. And the Fantasy Life app is unbelievable in terms of alerts. Also free, 100% free. I try to do everything free. So it is that can be you can get that at FantasyLifeApp.com. Try out the newsletter. Try out the app. If you hate it, just delete it. They're free. What do you care?
They're free. Why not do it? I get the
There
email
you go.
every single day. Hey, Matthew, thanks very much. Have a good week 5.
Appreciate it, guys. Take care. Good luck to everyone in week 5.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks, Matthew.
There's Matthew Berry, talented Mr. Roto. And, week 5. It does kind of move fast, doesn't it? We're already week 5?
Yeah. So in 19 weeks, no more football.
That's well. Let's not go. Let's not let that go. It is disappointing. Matthew Berry saying that Matthew Stafford is the 30th best quarterback.
But like
in the
he said,
NFL.
the numbers don't lie.
Nope,
It's the
they
truth.
don't. He has.
So there you go.
And he's not looked good. The Rams have not looked good. Period. By the way, Sean McVay is going to join us tomorrow, so we were able to juggle that and get Coach in for tomorrow's show. Coming up next for you, Anita Marks, our gambling authority, will join us. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Hey, Rams fans, Travis Rogers here. You have got to get the new ESPNLA app. In fact, let's go down to the locker room and get a little help.
What's up, Rams fans? This is Matthew Stafford. React to the Rams on the new ESPNLA app.
This is Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams. Listen to all your Rams talk on the ESPNLA app.
You are just one tap away from Rams All Access. Travis and Slee, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. Download it now on the App Store or Google Play.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Football fans want to win $100 for picking 5 games against the spread? Just download the Cover 5 app for free. Compete with Mason and me each week for a chance to win $100. Here's what you need to do. Download the Cover 5 app. Use code MI22 to join our show league, and then start having fun all season long. Just download the Cover 5 app. Use code MI22 to join the Mason and Ireland Show League. Pick 5 games against the spread to win $100, or play all season long at cover5.com.
Fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap. Next at 4 p.m.
on 710 ESPN. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max in the morning.
On LA's mega sports station.
LA Sports Talk all day long.
710 ESPN.
Before we get to Anita, I just want to point out John Ireland completely in the Billy Mack spirit.
Check them out at mereaudiovideo.com. Visit Toyota.com. They make it easy.
There you go, Ireland. All in.
I'm doing it all night, too.
All in.
I'm doing it all night.
So joining us right now is our gambling authority. You hear her every Thursday night here at 710 ESPN on Bet LA. The Anita Marks joins us right now. Hi, Anita.
Hi.
Anita, how's it going? You winning? You losing? How's your game?
I am winning.
I'm going to ask you a real question.
I am winning this season. I want to say, it depends. Like, a lot of you could. You look at your winning total, like, how many games do you get correct? How many games do you not?
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at how well you're doing based on your metrics, your units, right?
Yeah.
So it's just it depends. But regardless, either way, I'm doing too well. It's quite frightening.
So Anita,
I'm sure I'm gonna like come back down to reality soon.
Anita,
But yes,
between
nice
us
start of the
kids,
season.
between us
Mhm.
kids, Anita, how much you got riding every week? Like in real money?
I can't remember the last time I was called a kid. I might be, but
Well, believe me, we aren't either.
But so here's the thing. I start off the season anywhere between $500 to $750.
Okay.
But where I'm at right now, I'm playing with house money. So
Like it.
Thank you BetMGM, thank you Caesars, thank you DraftKings, thank you FanDuel, thank you.
Nice.
Anita,
Yeah,
I'm sitting in the MGM right now. I have a Laker. I'm in Vegas.
Well, good thing
doing
I
a
said
Laker game
it.
tonight.
Good thing I said BetMGM then.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
so can I ask you? I know we normally ask you about pro. Can I ask you about a couple of college games? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't prep for all of them, but I have about 6.
Okay, so let me ask you about this one.
5 or 6.
I
that
only
like.
care about USC and UCLA, and they both have big games this weekend.
Okay, done. Let's do it.